Hello, everybody from around the world. This is Samson Li coming to you from Los Angeles, California today. Welcome to today's Global Wellness Wednesday. So, today we have a very special guest. This gentleman I've known for a few years now, and he's amazing doctor, a gentleman with a big heart, travels a lot for our three family, around the world, and we're lucky to have him today. Please welcome Dr. Bob Greene. Hi, Dr. Bob. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me on.
Well, thank you for coming on. Well, first, let's get the people, a little bit of your background information. You are a doctor specializing in internal medicine. Maybe you can share with us a little bit about what you have done.
Sure. I am 79 years young. I have been practicing internal medicine for 50 plus years. I went to Tufts Medical School in Boston, followed by training at Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York, followed by additional training at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. And then did 20 years of private practice in Westchester County, New York. And I have always been oriented towards proactive wellness, preventive medicine. I had a practice in internal medicine where I would try herbs, vitamins, supplements, minerals, homeopathics, Zen, Pilates, yoga, all kinds of quote alternative types of medical practice. My patients loved it. My colleagues thought I was a quack because back then, no one in the medical establishment who was academically trained as I was believed in or even knew about proactive wellness. It was all about writing prescriptions. And unfortunately, among a lot of physicians today and extended providers like nurse practitioners and physicians' assistants, it's still about writing prescriptions as the first line of treatment for people who have illness. But my personal experience was basically all about helping people with vitamins, supplements, minerals, homeopathics. And I would love to tell people, listen, try this for a month or two. There's no harm being done. If it doesn't work, we can always go to the traditional prescription medications. But if it does work, it's wonderful because there's no side effects, there's no drug-drug interactions, and it's much more natural for your system.
Wow.
And it works.
Well, Dr. Bob, you are a rarity, that's for sure. And you know it. And here's the thing, I often go, see doctors and they talk about health, but they don't look like they're healthy. And like you, it's amazing that you're 79. I know, I've been with you at so many events and people are shocked that you are 79. So, well, congratulations on, practicing what you preach for sure. Thank you so much.
Well, I have to tell you that the reason I look so good is because one of our products, Visage. Visage in French means face. And basically, it's all about improving not only how you look, but also how you feel. I also have cancer, and I am blessed that I am in remission. So even though I have these challenges, I function at a very high level. I have more energy than most 40-year-olds I know. I just go, go, go. And I tell you, it's because of these products.
It's amazing. And you are still a practicing physician.
Right,
Amazing. That's
right.
really amazing. So, well, let me ask you, from your 50 years of experience, let's bring it up to 2025. Okay. Um, the modern era is really changed. I think like when I look back when I was growing up, uh, 40, 50 years ago, the food seems different. The air seems different. The water seems different. Life was much more simple, it seems. So, when we first started three, we thought about, what people are doing out there in the modern world and what challenges they have. And the first thing that came to mind was definitely nutrition, right? I mean, there's a lot of talk where they talk about the food today. It's only 1/10 of what has in terms of nutritional value versus maybe 30, 40 years ago. And I mean, do you see that in your practice? Do you see people that have challenges because of that?
Yes, definitely what you say is true. Not only has the soil gone down in terms of the nutrients and the minerals and the benefit in terms of growing really supportive crops, but the water it polluted, the air polluted. My God, when you see pictures from Beijing and it's noon and it looks like it's nighttime, people walking around with masks. I mean, just think about all that pollution that we're breathing into our body that is contaminating our skin. I mean, times have really changed. This, unfortunately, is a time when there's so much pollution and so much toxicity around the world that we've got to be careful. In fact, if you are reading the newspapers or listening to the news, you know that there's an island of plastic floating out somewhere in the Pacific Ocean on the other side of Hawaii that's about the size of Connecticut. And everybody is trying to figure out what to do about it, and no one yet has been able to. But challenges like this did not exist, or at least we were not aware of them 40 and 50 years ago. So it's a different time entirely, which is so important in terms of what we're doing with trying to keep people healthy with proper nutrition, complete nutrition, and all the other products that we have.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays I see a lot of chemtrails in the sky for weather modification. Actually, there's a huge news about that this year about that. They finally came out and talk about that. And then so there's a lot of heavy metal and in very high up in the atmosphere, but I guess when it rains, it ends up in the water, right? And then the plastic you mentioned, the plastic, the last few years, a lot of talk about microplastics.
So let me tell you this. I was in Hong Kong for the opening of the three office in March of 2024. And just that week in the New England Journal of Medicine, which is one of the premier academic journals that physicians and healthcare providers read, and I read it every week, was a wonderful article about a study that some researchers had done at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, which just coincidentally happened to be where I trained. But this had, the fact that it happened there had nothing to do with my experience over there. In any event, what these researchers did is they did carotid endarterectomies. Samson, that basically is removing sludge from the carotid artery over here that causes blockage in the carotid that then leads to stroke. Okay, so your physician may be doing ultrasounds over here, or when you go for a physical exam, he may listen over your carotid artery to see if he can pick up a bruit, which is a sign that there may be some sludge. In any event, they sent it to the lab and they said to the pathologist, what else besides cholesterol and calcium and lipid is in this? And lo and behold, in 40% of the samples submitted, it was loaded with nanoplastics and microplastics. And in those patients who had that, their IL-6, their interleukin 6, which is one of the genes in our body that has to do with inflammation, which is terrible for us, was sky high. Now, the reason this is so apropos and exciting is because we at three have products that basically help people in terms of their IL-6. And inflammation is a no-no, and anything you can do to reduce it is wonderful.
Wow. Wow, that's a big deal. So microplastics, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, causes inflammation,
Right.
right?
And not only that, but a few months later, another research group did the same thing with coronary arteries, and they got plaque or sludge. I like to call it sludge in the pipes because lay people understand plumbing and pipes and sludge. Just like in your house, when you get sludge in the pipes, you can't get water through. Well, if you get sludge or plaque in your coronary arteries, you can't get blood flow through. It's called coronary artery disease. So they basically got some of that plaque, they sent it to the lab, and lo and behold, nanoplastics, microplastics, and high levels of IL-6. So it's not just in our carotids, it's not just in our coronaries. In fact, now there's some concern about how much plastics do we have in our brain. And what relationship does it have to dementia and Alzheimer's disease? These are all things that are now under study.
Wow. Wow. This is very eye-opening. We live in a very interesting times, The more we industrialize, it seems that without knowledge, obviously, until it's studied that, we're affecting our own health. I mean, not ourselves necessarily, but the greater environment, right? And that's on top of the stress that people have nowadays, right? I mean, traditionally, I think when we first started three, we talk about it just because we started three post-COVID, that life has changed dramatically for everybody in the world because of the pandemic. And even now, even today, we are affected in the way we live in our lifestyles because of the pandemic, right? So one of the factors, of course, is economic stress, and also in the era of AI, right? Where people are starting to have a hard time find jobs. I mean, young people 30 and younger, 30 to 18 to 30, the unemployment rate is more than 9% in America. And also, sounds like in the news that the more be more and more layoffs, the white collar type. And a lot of people with college degree. Actually, they say for the people who are unemployed, one out of four have a college degree. That's very stressful, I think. And also, on top of that, stress economically, socially, because people are more isolated because of the pandemic and still are because of the, well, I guess people spend too much time on the screen, right? They become uh, uh, they live more in solitude. Um, uh, Lifestyle is changing, and I believe that has a big effect on their health, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Anything you can do to reduce stress is wonderful. So many studies and so many journals have shown toxic effects of stress. Stress on our central nervous system, stress on our cardiac system and heart disease, stress on our endocrine system and all kinds of dysfunctioning of our endocrine system. So stress is a no-no, and a lot of these products basically help us with stress.
Wow. Yeah, that's wonderful. That like when we first started, like I said, that's what we try to do. We work with Dr. Dan to design a system, a product that can meet people's health challenges nowadays, because of all the nutrition and environment that negatively affects our body and our mind. So we want people to be in wellness. There's studies out there that the wellness industry is going to be a $1 trillion economy in the very near future. So let's talk about three. Let's turn it to three because that's the reason why we started three. Not that, oh, we want to make money. No, because there's a big need out there. And my heart just goes to the people around the world who suffer so much because of the pandemic, post-pandemic, and now economically, and people more conscious about their health more than ever before. This is a time where humanity really need to wake up, say we can do something about it. So Dr. Bob, like nutrition wise, what which of the products that are the product, all supplements are in the PDR, right? The physician's desk reference or the prescriber's digital reference, right? Very credible study back with clinical studies on ingredients and the products itself. Which of the products would you say to, let's say me, if I say, hey, Dr. Bob, which one is good for better nutrition for me to supplement my nutritional intake?
Well, without a doubt, the first and one to start with is vitality, because vitality, as the name says, will keep you vital. It's a combination of superfoods and superfruits. It's got all kinds of wonderful things in it. I'll briefly go through very quickly what's in it. It's got pancreatic enzymes, pancrease, amylase, lipase. It's got oxidate. It's got omega 3, 6, 7, and 9 fatty acids, which are essential for just everything in our body. It's got 72 trace minerals, which are important in terms of turning on enzymes. It's just got wonderful things in it that basically give you a complete nutritional package in a pack. It comes in little packages like this, and you take one of these a day, and it's basically like eating fruits and vegetables out of the garden in the 1940s and 1950s. It's wonderful. It's great for the eyes. It's great for the brain. It's great for the skin. It's great for the heart. It basically gives you energy. And the one thing that everybody talks about is the energy. In fact, some people I know even take it twice a day just because they want even more energy. That
Yeah.
is basically the hallmark or the foundation product. As Dr. Dan likes to say, we have a complete wellness system. A wellness, it's one program with 7 or 8 different products in it. And the hallmark to start with is vitality.
Yeah, I heard Dr. Dan talk about the vitality feeding the mitochondria. What is that about? Can you describe that a little bit?
Sure. Well, one of the beautiful things about what Dr. Dan has done is he's got this technique called cellular absorption technology, and basically what that means is that these products get absorbed through the intestine at a much higher rate than conventional products, and because they get absorbed much quicker, they get into the cells quicker, they get into the mitochondria quicker, and the mitochondria is the part of the cell where energy is produced. So when people say vitality gives me tremendous energy, it's in large part because of cellular absorption technology. Let me just tell you, Samson, that as Dr. Dan has shown in his studies, these are third-party studies that have been done. What that means is he sent his results out to some third party and asked them to repeat it and see if they got the same results, and indeed they did. The average absorption of minerals and vitamins is 10% across the industry. Mind you, there are about 1,000 companies right here in the United States that make vitamins and minerals and supplements. And I got to tell you, of the 1,000, we're probably the best. Why? Because all of our products are made in what are called FDA compliant or FDA approved manufacturing facilities right here in the United States. They're using something called GMP, good manufacturing processes that are certified. It's quality stuff. So the important thing to know is that because the products are good quality and because of the cellular absorption technology, our products get absorbed into the body much quicker, anywhere between 3.5 times and 9 times what the industry standard is. So this vitality gets in quicker, you start to feel better. In fact, I like to tell people when I talk about this that the reason why so many people try this for a month and then come back for more is in large part because of the cellular absorption technology, which means that the products get absorbed into your system and not peed out or pooped out as 90% of the others do, and therefore you see results quicker. So when someone comes to me and says, okay, I've heard a lot of good things about your product, let me try it, I'm confident that after being on this for a month, maybe 6 weeks, they're going to come back and they're going to say, wow, I want more.
Well, I actually even have people who've tried it for 1 week and they just felt better, overall, less discomforts and have more energy and become more active. I think, like as I, you're 79, I'm 56, so I'm also looking into how to stay mobile, how to have more energy and be more active, as I age. That's very important. And I think for young people too, it's something that I guess the vitality, because of the absorption, the nutrition, um, you can't even eat enough of it in the food that we eat every day, huh?
Yeah, it's very important that you take supplements and you take the right kind of supplements. And as you mentioned before, or as I mentioned, there's 1,000 companies. Everybody wants to get into this PDR that you mentioned, the physician's desk reference, or now it's called the prescriber's digital reference. There's 1,000 companies trying to get in. 21 have been accepted. Of the 21, we are one of them, but of the 21, we're the only one that has all of our products accepted. That coupled with Dr. Dan's studies in terms of the cellular absorption technology, in terms of epigenetics, which means that basically he has shown that these products do good things for certain genes in our body and increase the good beneficial effects of these genes. The fact that he's got just a lot of experience with this makes me confident, and 3,000 other health professionals who have already joined three in just the last 2 years, that this is the right stuff. And you didn't mention it, Samson, but I'm proud to blow the horn of three. The company's only 2.5 years old, and in the first 2 years, the company has sold close to $200 million worth of products. What other startup do you know that has gone from zero to $200 million in 2 years? And
Yeah.
the reason is the products, the products, the products.
Yeah, for sure the products are amazing. So now we talk about the all the impurities that's in the air, in the water, and even microplastics. If somebody wants to
Purify, the
detox,
answer.
so purify. Yeah,
Purify. This
yeah.
is a wonderful product. It's basically a whole body detox system. It contains chlorophyll. It contains humic extract, which is fulvic acid. It's got coriander in it. It's got pectin. It's got kelp in it. It's a wonderful product for basically detoxifying. Again, related to the heavy metals, the plastics, the pollutants, all the things we talked about before. We've got 5 organs of elimination or detoxification right now in our body: the liver, the lungs, the colon, the kidneys, and the skin. And what this product does, Purify, is it basically tunes up, if you will, or helps those detoxification organs to function at a higher level. So this product is wonderful for anybody who's got anything related to pollution or any kinds of problems with sensitivity to certain kinds of foods, things like that.
Yeah, that's great. I love it that it's all natural too, huh? Just like the vitality. And what about like you know, what would you say like if somebody wants to stay young and I think one of the thing is of course oxidation stress, right? We talk about stress, right? And that gets us old very fast. So what do you recommend for somebody who's looking for something like that?
Right here, Eternal. Eternal is basically a blend of antioxidants. Now, people have heard of antioxidants. What does that do? It prevents the formation in our body of what are called free radicals. What's a free radical? A free radical is a product that is produced in our normal metabolic processes. And if you accumulate too many free radicals in your body, it's a bad thing. It increases your risks for bad stuff like cancer, heart disease, autoimmune disease. So you don't want free radicals. What's in here will basically help to get rid of free radicals. What's in it specifically? CoQ10. Everybody's heard about CoQ10. It's a wonderful antioxidant. Ours gets absorbed into the body 3 times as well as anybody else's. It's got resveratrol in it. Resveratrol is the antioxidant that's in red wine. Each one of these packages has 200 milligrams of resveratrol. But the big kicker is glutathione.
Mm.
Glutathione is, if you will, is called the master antioxidant, and that's in here as well. So this product is great in terms of preventing free radicals from forming. It also, there's been some research that it stimulates some of the genes that have to do with anti-aging, so that might help you there as well. But it also gives you energy, helps you sleep. I mean, it's a wonderful product overall. If you want to
And
be
and it
eternal,
tastes great.
if you want to be eternal, you want to stay on Eternal.
Mm. And it tastes really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the glutathione has been, is making a lot of news. Now, when you say master antioxidant, can you give a little bit history about that? Why is it called the master antioxidant?
Well, it's been around for a while, and it just has been shown to be more effective than anything else out there in terms of reducing the effects of oxidation and then helping to prevent these free radicals. And it just works.
Mhm. That's great. Now, you know what? There's one more product that's very interesting because you just talk about oxidation. Don't we have a clinical study about superoxides?
Right.
Would
Superoxide is a product of a natural product of our metabolic sequences, and our product, which is called Revive, basically has been shown by Dr. Dan in studies to lower this superoxide level by 36%. So, again, in terms of reducing inflammation, this product is great. This also happens to lower the genetic expression of IL-6. At the same time, this, along with the Vitalite, increases the activity of GLP-1. And you have all heard of GLP-1 because you can't drive down the road without the big billboards talking about GLP-1 injection or pill form in terms of helping you with weight reduction, in terms of helping you with maintaining better blood sugar levels. And we've got a product that basically helps with GLP-1 naturally without having to take anything by mouth, without the pill form, without having to be injected with anything. No side effects. Wonderful product.
That's terrific. Wow. Sounds like a lot. Dr. Bob, like I said, when we first started three, we're looking to help people with the health issues and challenges and living in the modern times. And sounds like we got some winners there, huh?
Yep.
I use all the products. I feel great, but I don't know specifically about the science necessarily like you. Now, so let me
Well,
ask you.
one thing I want to mention when I was introduced to this, but because of my training, because of my interest in proactive preventive wellness, because of my orientation towards vitamins and supplements and homeopathics and herbs and all the kinds of other stuff, I get approached by a lot of companies who want me to join and help in terms of marketing their products. And the first thing I always say is, show me the clinical studies. And invariably, there are none. So when my friend Sally called me up and said, you got to look at this, I said, show me the clinical studies. And I really expected her to say, there are none. And she said, sure. And I went, what? There are clinical studies? And she showed me Dr. Dan's work. I took a couple of days to look it over, to read it over. I called her up and I said, Sally, I'm ready to go. Let's sign me up. She said, don't you want to try the product? See if they work, which is what a lot of people say. I said, no, I don't have to. This is the only company I've ever been approached by that's got clinical studies, three of them, that basically show that the products do what Dr. Dan has intended them to do. And that is huge. And I'm sure that that, coupled with the fact that it's in the PDR, has basically convinced or influenced a lot of those 3,000 health professionals to join us because this is a company you can be proud of because of the quality of the products.
Yeah, I truly believe that. Agree with you 100%. When you talk about the credibility of the science, I always talk about like how Dr. Dan, his academic background as a professor, and he's trained at Caltech. With that kind of resume, he's somebody who wants the best of the best in whatever he makes or formulates.
PhD in organic chemistry.
Amazing.
He's a nerd who loves molecules.
I love
For those of you who don't know, he lives, breathes, and dreams molecules. He goes around the world searching for more plants, for more molecules. He's like a
yeah.
little kid in a lab.
And you know what, Dr. Bob, unlike many, many other companies out there, Dr. Dan does research and development. Trying to discover new molecules from plants. 650,000 species of them, right? So he's really somebody on the go, and we are very fortunate to have him.
I kid, Dr. Dan. There's about 650,000 species, as Samson said, and only 5% of them have been analyzed to see if they have any medicinal effects. And Dr. Dan would, of course, love to analyze the other 95%. The only problem is he's 46 and time is not on his side in terms of analyzing 95% of 650,000 more species. So he better hurry up.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky to have him, and we're lucky to have you, Dr. Bob.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for spending the time with us, educating us, and having a real conversation, connect with the global community out there. Appreciate
And
you.
it's fun. You got to have fun.
That's right. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time to spending time with us today. We hope you got something out of this. Share this if that's what's in your heart. It's a conversation for everybody to listen to have better health and maybe potentially, if they want, to build business with us also. So thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.